So I grew this YouTube channel from 0 to 10,000 subscribers in about 60 days. And also we closed $45,000 deals from the very first video. So I'm going to play a clip just to prove that so you know I'm not talking shit.
I know for a fact we closed a $45,000 deal, and that CEO is actually connected to a private equity firm. He's an investor over there, really large firm.
Mhm.
And so they're actually interested in investing in the company as well.
Oh,
So
damn.
and dude, that was like the easiest close of my life because he's like, big fan of the YouTube stuff. How much do I need to pay to be like, your top customer, basically? And we said, it's this much. And so he said, done. And that was it. And then we onboarded him within a week.
And in this video, I'm going to walk through exactly how I did this. There's a few specific videos that were the main driver of growth of this, so I'm definitely going to break those down in some detail. And yeah, you're just going to find out exactly how I was able to do this in a niche that's relatively competitive. This channel is now the most trending, fastest growing channel in the sales niche, and soon enough will be at 100,000 subscribers and the biggest channel in the sales niche. But yeah, let's get straight into it without further ado. So let's dive into the analytics first before we actually get into the source. So you can see the first video was posted 3rd of August 2025, and you can see what the growth trajectory of the channel looks like. We can also go to the subscriber count and sort by last 365 days, and we can see on the 3rd of August they were at 600 subscribers. Now, the important thing to understand is that when I'm saying at 0, we'll take a look at their channel in a second and you'll see what I mean, but those subscribers just came from them being known as a company and, them posting on their website and promoting the YouTube channel on other platforms. But all the subscribers weren't coming from YouTube organically, right? And when we're trying to grow a YouTube channel, if you're trying to grow your YouTube channel, you're growing from 0 on YouTube, and you want to grow your channel on YouTube, not be pushing traffic from your website or these other platforms to YouTube. That's not what we're talking about here when growing a YouTube channel. And you can see the growth that they've seen since then, right? So like on the 3rd of October, they were at like 9,500, so not exactly 10,000, okay, but like look at the growth after that. So in about 60 days, they went from pretty much 0 to 10,000 subscribers. Now, the most important thing, like I said, was from the very first video, we closed $45,000 deals, and many bigger ones now, I believe, after that as well. Like the first video we closed a $45,000 deal with an American Express partner, as well as many other deals. And since then, I believe we've closed even bigger deals. I'll put like a screenshot of what their calendar looked like with booked sales calls of like potential clients. And it was absolutely full from YouTube. And those screenshots were from the first month, I believe. So now we've gone through a lot more growth than that. And so you could expect it to be a lot higher as well. So yeah, definition of a very successful business YouTube channel for both building the brand through the growth side. Now it's at like 20k subscribers from only posting 12 videos, and from the business side as well, because that's ultimately what matters most for a business and a brand, which is, it's creating a lot of deal flow for them. And these are pretty big deals. These aren't, selling $20 digital products. These are like $45,000 deals with huge companies, and those companies are also wanting to invest in the company, that type of thing, right? So let's dive into the channel. Without further ado, let's stop talking about the results. Now, this was their channel beforehand. You can see the state of it, right? Terrible thumbnails, terrible titles. Yes, it says the videos have like 500, 1,000, 1,000 views. All those views weren't from YouTube. They were from being embedded on the website, other traffic sources, like I said. You would never get those sort of views on videos like this from YouTube because the titles and thumbnails suck and they're terrible videos, obviously, right? So they were starting from 0, like I said, even though not numerically 0. This was the first video we made for them, 267,000 views, speedrunning cold calls from $0 to first sale. I show everything. Now, how did we come up with this video? Because 267,000 views on the first video. This was all organically, no paid ads, no external traffic sources. This was all from YouTube promoting it. And I can show that by going here, sorting by views. Oh, it was already sorted. Going to the analytics, going here, traffic source, boom. 220,000 were from like the just browse. Then you've also got some from end screens, YouTube search, suggested, etc., right? So there's some from like direct and unknown as well, which might be from Google search. So yeah, like it was all organically, generally speaking, right? And also something to note is that the retention of the video only has 5%, right? And everybody talks about you need to optimize for retention and average view duration, but this video got over 200,000 views and the retention was 5.7%, right? So how did we see this success? How do we make this video? Why did it work so well? Now, first is the video idea. The video idea is the most important part of making a successful YouTube video. Any YouTube expert guru will tell you this. Mr. Beast says this. You know, you can find that online very easily. But why is it actually the most important? Well, because if you make a video that nobody cares about, which would be from a result of making a bad video idea, you can make the best video in the world on that thing. You could be the most genius expert on this thing that nobody cares about, but if nobody cares about it, nobody's going to click, nobody's going to be interested, and the YouTube algorithm's not going to promote it, right? So if that's true, this is also true. If we come up with the best video idea in our niche, then all of the attention will float towards that video, because hypothetically everybody would click on it, everybody would watch all the way through it because they're just so interested in it, and the YouTube algorithm would therefore have every signal to push it to everybody else within that niche over all of the other videos in that niche, because YouTube's a winner-take-all platform. There's only so much attention to go around, and so YouTube's going to promote and heavily promote the videos that are the best, right? And that it shows in the algorithm as the best. So how do we come up with the best video idea? Well, how do you know what a good video idea is without actually seeing videos that work on YouTube? Most people try and come up with good video ideas from scratch, and they think they're a creative genius, and they think they've landed on gold by quote with some idea, and they're like, whoa, this is so creative, this is so innovative. But we have no idea if that actually works on YouTube, and that's just your opinion. That's not backed by actual data. And so what we need to do instead is have a great understanding of what makes a good video on YouTube right now, key thing right now, not 1 year ago, not 10 years ago, right now, and apply that knowledge to your niche to be able to make a good video. Now, let me put it this way. If you could see over the entirety of YouTube and you could see all of the successful videos, all of the videos that were good and that performed outstandingly well compared to these average videos, and you could understand exactly why each of them worked so well, and, you know, so certain videos, they work really well because of the specific title format they use, and they have a certain format of title. Certain ones, it's because of the thumbnail style. Certain ones, it's a combination of both. Certain ones, it's because of the way the video is executed. Like maybe it's a raw style video in a niche where it's full of these clickbait videos and hyper optimized videos when people actually want this raw education, right? So that fills a gap in the market. So if you could see all of these videos, understand why all of them worked, and then come into your niche with omniscience around YouTube and better information than anybody else in your niche around what makes a successful YouTube video, then you would have better information than anybody else. Therefore, you'd be able to make better decisions than anybody else in your niche on what videos to make and exactly how to execute them at every single stage, from title, thumbnail, script, execution, recording, editing, etc. And you would get better results than all of the people in your niche on average, right? Somebody might hit lucky with a video where they see success because they did just pull out an idea from thin air that happened to work really well and it was innovative, but that's not a system. That's just like a one-off lucky shot, right? Whereas you've got a system where you're able to produce these videos that on average are way better than all of your competitions because you are making better decisions, because you have better information, and you have better information because you're doing YouTube research, right? So the lesson in all of this, and the reason why I spend time on this, is because you need to be doing YouTube research and really prioritizing that to see and find these videos that are working really well, and then spending the time to understand why they're working well so that when you go to your niche, you can beat everybody else because you have better information. Now, this is exactly why we succeed in any niche that we step into. And in this specific case, this channel here in the sales niche. This video here, this video idea, speedrunning cold calls, the reason we came up with this video idea was because we saw in a completely different niche. This video here, speedrunning an entire Shopify store, brackets, I show everything. This video got 230,000 views on a channel with probably around 10,000 subscribers. You can check the channel. It's not got a lot of subscribers relative to the view count. So this was a massive outlier on this channel. And then I started to do more exploring, and I also saw that this format was working across other niches on YouTube. And also, just from being on YouTube for a long time, I've known this format to work in lots of niches, including the entertainment niches, like these videos here, right? The speedrunning format has been a format that's been on YouTube for years, especially in the gaming and entertainment niche, but it hadn't been taken over to educational niches yet. But when I saw that video that I just showed you, that was my first sign of, oh, this actually can really work in educational niches, and people in educational niches, viewers in educational niches, are resonating with this language of speedrunning, which was my fear, right? Because speedrunning is quite like a entertainment type term, and maybe people in educational niches didn't inherently understand what that means. But this proves that they did, and it really stood out because it hadn't been done before. And also other things such as the lowercase title, the raw thumbnail, like these things also helped it stand out in, you know, a YouTube market where fancy titles and thumbnails are quite typical, right? So that's how we got the video idea, and we simply took that, and because I did YouTube research, I was able to identify that. We took that, we applied it to our niche, which nobody else had seen this video because they weren't doing YouTube research, and also they just are slow when it comes to YouTube strategy compared to someone like me who does hundreds of hours a week of research to understand what works. And I also post over 100 videos a month across my channels and run over 30 channels in different niches. So like when I step into that niche, I just simply, like, nobody can compete with the level of visibility that I have of what's working on YouTube and why. So with that in mind, we made this video. And that's how we came up with the video idea. Now, the way we executed it was very simple. We reverse engineered what worked for that guy, which was basically having this very raw style video that just felt authentic. So the hook was very authentic. We were basically just like, all right, so like I'm going to be, you know, doing cold calls until I make this much, blah, 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 blah. Right? It came across very raw and very unplanned, even though it was actually very planned. We created like a whole outline for it. We scripted the hook word for word, even like the, all right, so I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that, very casual language. We scripted it out fully. So it was very actually strategically and meticulously planned. It just didn't come across that way. And then the video itself is like very raw, just walking through, you know, like showing everything from A to Z of starting cold calls from zero to making, you know, the first sale and making his first money, and showing everything in between, right? So very, very simple. The video idea, like I said, is the most important. And then for the execution, if you're taking inspiration from a particular type of video, you just want to reverse engineer what worked for them structure-wise and like delivery-wise. And that would be the best way to go about things. Because if you change things in the way that you structure and deliver the video from the video that you're taking inspiration from, you're introducing risk, unnecessary risk. Because that could have been, like, the way they executed the video could have been part of the reason why the video succeeded. And so if you change that, you might be then changing the original reason as to why that video succeeded, and therefore you might not actually have this success blueprint anymore, right? What if the idea only carried 40% of the success or 50% of the success, but the execution was actually the other 50%? Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes the idea is like the only thing that matters, and this is why you need to actually like spend the time to like really understand yourself of why this video succeeded. And I understood that the video we took reference from succeeded because yes, the idea was good and that stood out, but also the expectation of that was met in the video, where it was like this raw style video of literally showing absolutely everything, and it just came across as super authentic. And of course, it's like this challenge video where the result is actually achieved in the end too, which people love. It's a proven format across YouTube, and so the challenge format of video and executing on that challenge format correctly is extremely important for this type of video, right? So that's why that video worked. But then we have a similar situation for this one. So I'll break down these next couple of videos and then kind of like wrap up the general strategy. I made 500,000 cold calls and learned this. Well, I saw a video which was, I made 300 YouTube videos and learned this. And you can see where this is going. I made 300 YouTube videos and learned this. 579,000 views posted 1 year ago by this channel, Ed Lawrence. This is the most popular video on his entire channel. Massive outlier. So then I took it and applied it to this niche, the cold email niche, with I send 10 million cold emails and learned this for a channel called Clay, which is $1 billion company, by the way. Massive company. Wasn't so massive on YouTube when we started working with them. They went 300 subscribers, grew them to like well over 10,000 subscribers at this point, or like 15,000 I think they're at now. And yeah, this video got 151,000 views. Massive outlier for their channel, biggest outlier for their channel. So I already knew this format worked. I saw that video originally. I made 300 YouTube videos and learned this. That gave me the idea for this video, which I made on this channel, before I even made the video that I was just about to talk about there on the Glen Coco channel. And this video got 151,000 views. So I further validated even more that this format worked. And then because I had that insight that it worked for in the YouTube niche and it worked for the cold email niche, I could go in with quite a bit of confidence that it would work in the cold calling niche as well. So I made 500,000 cold calls and learned this with the same text variation that we used in the cold email one, with the niche is effing easy, with the effing obviously asterisked out, and over 100,000 views, right? Simple as that. We even copied the same execution style in the video, which was that if you go into the videos that I show you and you open them up in a separate tab after this video or whatever, and you check them out, you'll see that they have a very high number of points. It's like 20 to 30 points. And this, I believe, added to why the video succeeded, because it made sense to me that, like, all these videos that they do, 3 or 5 points, right? I'm going to go through the top 5 points of the 3 steps, right? All these videos that do that, that's very generic. Whereas this stood out massively because it was like, I'm going to go through, like, the top 20 or, like, 30 or 40 points, right? Which is, like, very fast-paced, actionable, like, high value per second, which I believe was part of the reason why the video succeeded. And so I saw that with the Ed Lawrence video. I took it to the cold email video, did the same thing, worked for that. I took it to the cold calling video, did it for that. Because why would I change that? Maybe if I did 3 points under this video, like if I made 500,000 cold calls under this, and I gave my 3 pieces of advice for people to do in cold calling, maybe the video wouldn't have succeeded. In fact, I'd actually bet on it not succeeding, anywhere near as well, right? Less than a tenth as well as what the video did. Maybe not succeeding at all. So this is why I'm saying, like, you have to reverse engineer why these videos succeed and really understand why. And then, if you understand why, you're able to start to spot patterns between these different videos of, like, oh, the reason why this video succeeded was the same reason why this video succeeded, and then there was also the same reason why this video succeeded. Oh, so they all used this thing, and this was all the reason why they succeeded. But in my niche, nobody's doing that thing. Why is nobody else in my niche doing that thing? Maybe I can take that to my niche and do it in that niche. Whether it's a title, whether it's a thumbnail style, whether it's the way the video is executed. When you do YouTube research and you study why things work, every single why that you find that causes a video to succeed is an extra tool in your arsenal to deploy in your niche to differentiate and stand out, and it's proven to do well, right? So as you continue to stack these whys and you continue to stack these tools in your arsenal, you're just going to be like a Swiss Army knife in your niche to be able to, like, pull out banger video ideas from thin air, right? Because you have all of this data to back it up, and you've got all this visibility on YouTube. Anyways, now this one, I'll go through this one and then I'll wrap things up. Watch me book 10 sales calls in 10 hours, over 100,000 views 4 months ago. So the reason why we came up with this video idea was because we did this video, and this is, like, again, like, when you have this visibility from researching YouTube, but also even running other YouTube channels as well, which I am in a fortunate position to do. Like, I have a monopoly advantage because I run over 30 YouTube channels, so I see what works across these channels. But yeah, we did this video here for this channel, 430,000 views. So this is a big software platform, Instantly AI. They're a cold email sending platform, and we did this video here, which was watch me start and sell a service in 10 hours, which was basically a raw style challenge video, which, again, went from start to finish, starting a new service at zero, no unfair advantages, all the way to, like, selling the service and achieving that success and winning the challenge. And we set stakes where, like, we bet with a friend. In fact, I'm actually in this video where, like, we placed a bet that if he didn't do it, he'd have to, like, buy me tickets to go on a trip. Look, there, I just popped up there. That's me from a couple of years back. And then this is me as well. So we, like, literally meticulously crafted this first part of the video. Like, this wasn't real. It wasn't real. In terms of, like, the challenge was real, but this part was, like, actually, like, scripted, and we created it purposefully to set those stakes and get people more bought into the challenge and get them to root for Austin, who is the creator of this video. But anyways, so we made this video, and that was the reason why we just did the video, which was watch me book 10 sales calls in 10 hours, because we knew that it worked. But the reason why we even made this video in the first place was because I saw this video. Before I made this video, I saw this video, which was watch me make and sell a digital product in 10 hours by this channel called Dea, which was an outlier on her channel, right? So this was the initial point of inspiration for me to even make that video that I just showed you. And I saw this video through doing YouTube research. That's how I found it. I like reverse engineered why it worked and really thought and studied about why it worked, and I began to understand, okay, it has this really casual title of just like, watch me do this thing in 10 hours. Like, it's really casual and effortless for her. It's even in lowercase to give off that energy more. The thumbnail looks like it's been made by her, so it doesn't give the perception that it's some clickbaity, you know, strategically orchestrated YouTube video, which like like a she's not like a Mr. Beast type figure where she's trying to like squeeze the YouTube algorithm. She's just, you know, an authentic girly who's put together that thumbnail herself and put together that title herself, but actually both are very effective because she's showing the payment proof in the thumbnail, even if it's not real payments, it looks like it is, because it's just like a blurry type, not blurry, but like a slightly low resolution screenshot, and then she's done this casual title. And then if you click on the video, it follows the same sort of feeling where it's like very homemade girly pop style editing, like she's edited the video herself. It's not like super professional editing at all. It looks like she's recorded the video on her iPhone. So like, I'm beginning to like note down all these reasons as to why this video succeeded, and then we took all of those reasons, ignored the noise, right? So we looked for the signal of why the video succeeded, ignored the noise, and then we took all of the signal and made sure that we factored it into our video, which was the one I just showed you of Watch Me Start and Sell a Service. And we did the exact same for that Glen Coco channel as well. So yeah, like that's, you can see the pattern between all of those videos and how we come up with the video ideas and why they did so well. And it's a similar story for really all of these. You can see we doubled down on the speedrunning video here, which got over 100,000 views. You know, we did this one, Alex Mosey's advice on cold calling, and the reason why we did this video is because I've done this video in many different niches. In fact, I cultivated this format really. I saw the original was like Alex Mosey's advice on dropshipping that I saw, and then that was a massive outlier, and Alex Mosey doesn't even talk about dropshipping. So I was like, okay, if he doesn't talk about dropshipping really, then I can apply it to niches where he actually does talk about the thing, and it's probably going to do really well. So I did that. I took it to like the landing pages niche, the cold email niche, there's the content creation niche. Alex Mosey's advice on content creation, I made that video, and that video ranks to the top of the search term content creation. That got like 300,000 views. So like, I had so much validation for this format working in niches that Alex Mosey of course actually talks about, and it hadn't been done in the cold calling niche, so there's another gap in the market. Now the pattern between all of these is where it's a case of like, there's been something working in another niche, and we've taken and applied to our niche if we're to do it really high level. The thing is as well, I do have a massive unfair advantage because we do hundreds of hours of research a week on YouTube, and we're able to do that because I have an internal research team that works full time for me. And I spend, you know, $50,000 per month on my YouTube system because I have a lot of different channels in lots of niches that are generating a lot of revenue. You know, we run over like 30 different channels, and our channels are doing like over $10 million a year. And so with that, like, I have a massive unfair advantage, kind of like a monopoly, to where I can afford to have this visibility and see over the entirety of YouTube. So like, any niche that we step into, any of our clients or channels that we run, straight away has like an insane advantage over everybody else that just nobody can really compete with. Like, there's no way they can like compete against that. And so yeah, that is a benefit if you are one of our clients. You know, like, it's a pretty pretty nice benefit. It basically guarantees that you're going to be making the most proven, high conviction, high likelihood of succeeding videos in your niche, and also executing them correctly at every single stage in the process. But also, like, this is just to emphasize the importance of like investing into that part of your YouTube knowledge, understanding what's working, and yeah, otherwise you're just not going to be able to compete. So yeah, hopefully this was useful, hopefully it was valuable. If there's any questions, let me know in the comments. Reach out to me on Instagram, jake.trinder, if you do have any questions that you want to ask personally, and I will see you in the next video.